Hey guys, let's talk about the current state of the USA right now. I'm just going to cover some things here in this video. Buckle in because things are looking pretty bleak. Just going to be honest with you. But yeah, let's get into it. ICE has already killed at least 32 people in their own custody. That was just in 2025 alone. The deadliest year since 2004, actually. Then in January of 2026, they murdered Renee Good, as I'm sure many of you are aware. If you aren't, then you've been living under a rock. And then weeks later, they killed Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse in the same city. There was a man, Geraldo Lunas Campos, who died in El Paso in a detention facility. The medical examiner ruled it as a homicide by asphyxia. Witnesses report that he was desperately trying to say that he couldn't breathe while they were crushing his throat. And what was ICE's response? To call it a suicide attempt. So overall, 39 people dead in ICE custody just in the first year of Trump's second term. This is a paramilitary death squad roaming throughout American soil, killing anyone and everyone in their way, or even if they just feel like it. And the media? It's not their biggest concern because mainstream media likes to ignore these nasty details. And this part should make you all physically sick. Trump never divested from private prison stocks. So, his own financial disclosure shows that he's been actively trading shares in the two private prison companies that his own immigration policies made rich. Every person that ICE throws into a cage generates him more money. So, what sounds like conspiracy theory is just a financial disclosure. More than half of Americans can't afford gas or groceries right now. And I'm sure many of you have been feeling it. I certainly have. And that is a Harris poll, not some arbitrary talking point I just pulled out of my ass. There's actual data to back this up. Nearly 50% of Americans are struggling to afford housing, utilities, loan payments, or car insurance. And while that is happening, the 0.1%, the tip top of the iceberg, increased their wealth by $2.59 trillion during Trump's second term. Republicans ran on affordability, but then proceeded to pass on the largest tax cuts for the rich. They are robbing you right in front of your face and blaming immigrants, which, again, I touched on, like when Trump said that they are poisoning the blood of this country. The exact opposite turned out to be true. If even just a fraction of these brain-dead MAGA morons had just bothered to look up, you would see that immigrants are less likely to commit crimes than people that were born here. They also pay more, significantly more in taxes. And I've already gone over the CNBC. They released their 2026 list of the worst states to live in, but I'm going to go over it again really quick for the sake of this video. Tennessee, Texas, Indiana, Louisiana, Georgia, Utah, Missouri, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Republican-controlled places. And so by every measure of quality of life, healthcare, education, income, crime, life expectancy, they are all dead last. And they have the audacity to come over to Congress and tell the rest of us how to govern. So they have cut Medicaid, pediatric cancer research, Meals on Wheels, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, food safety inspections, and the National Weather Service, which some of this I have covered before, but it needs to be restated because these are all things that are meant to give you a better quality of life. Now you want to talk about screwworm? Well, we had a $10 million program, $10 million program that controlled the screwworms in South America. Now we have an outbreak so large that it's going to cost billions to fix. and it also threatens our entire cattle industry. These people are so demonstrably incompetent at ruling. It's crazy because they have all of the power at their fingertips. And you see what happens when Republicans rule. They also just removed Harriet Tubman from the $20 bill, but are reportedly trying to print out $250 bills with Trump's face on it. This man also slapped his fucking name on an airport, tried to rename the Kennedy Center to the Trump Kennedy Center. But funnily enough with that, as I recall, Congress struck that down. So they were ordered to take his name down. But he was so petty, such a fucking man-child, that he had a tarp put up over the Kennedy Center. So instead of it's basically if my name can't be on there, then nobody can see any names. So now just the name Kennedy is being hidden by tarps. Like, the taxpayers own the White House. Okay, let's be clear here. But they've turned it into a fucking trailer park. If you saw the 250th, celebration with the dirt bikes going, this is straight up, this is idiocracy, like 101 from the movie. If you haven't seen it, it's worth watching. This incompetent fuckface is also trying to get his name placed onto Mount Rushmore. Good fucking luck. People like this will only self-aggrandize to this extreme when they know that nobody else will do it for them. And at the same time, the Trump administration, the Trump regime, released a 162-page report demanding that the Smithsonian remove coverage of systemic racism, women's suffrage, and LGBTQ rights, and the founding fathers owning slaves. You can't make this shit up, okay? They're trying to whitewash history. They're trying to erase history. They want a taxpayer-funded museum to lie to you. So this is something more breaking that, I've been watching how they're going to try and rig the midterms. The DOJ just sent federal agents to monitor polling sites in Arizona counties. And they're trying to frame it as election security, okay? These are the same people who seized ballots in Georgia and in Arizona. They tried to ban mail-in ballots, which is ironic because that's how Trump actually votes, is via mail-in ballot. They also demanded access to voter rolls and threatened to send ICE agents to polling places on election day. That's so that they can try and intimidate people from voting in the first place. It's much like Trump's, his SAVE Act that, if it passed, it won't pass. But if it did pass, it would get struck down. But again, if it didn't get struck down, they wouldn't have time to implement it. But even if they did have time to implement it, it would end up hurting Trump voters more than anything else. Like, this administration is such an incompetent joke. I feel like I'm living in a fever dream at this point. So Trump lost 60 cases on election fraud in 2020. That's just 2020. Every recount, every audit confirmed the results of the 2020 election. And so he is actively right now laying the groundwork to steal the midterms because his approval rating is so fucking low, and they know it's low, that this is the only conceivable way they can retain power. And this is the main focus of this video that I wanted to bring attention to, is the attempted rigging of the midterms. It's going to get worse. It will get worse. You can guarantee that. But that's why I tell everyone that comes to me and asks for advice, you got to vote in the midterms. You got to go out in person. Don't even mail in ballot. Go in person. Because who knows what the hell they're going to try and do. Because as soon as federal agents get their hands on the ballots, the whole election is compromised. So you got to do what you can. You're not, we're all just one person each, but we got to do what we can. Okay. So again, if you're not paying attention to any of this, then I don't know what to tell you. So also, America has been at war with Iran for 150 days now. And Trump said it would be a 2-day operation. We have also deployed B-1 Lancer Heavy strategic bombers. These are the same types of aircraft that are designed to carry nuclear payloads, deployed from UK bases. This echoes something I talked about in a video months ago. Trump has already stated that he wants to destroy Iran's Fordo nuclear facility, buried 145 meters underneath a granite mountain. And military analysts have already confirmed that the only thing capable of reaching that depth is a nuclear payload. And as I read it here, a nuclear bunker buster. And on top of that, Trump keeps saying he's going to hit it very hard, very soon. So we are spending $70 billion plus on this illegal and offensive war that nobody asked for. Meanwhile, Americans can't afford groceries, can't afford gas now. I remember this one clip where Trump goes, I don't think about Americans' financial situations at all. I don't even think about it. He literally said that. You can look that shit up.
What extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
So it's mind-boggling to me that anyone still wears the red MAGA hat, because it's basically a badge of shame at this point. Also, in other news, the House of Representatives just passed a bill to merge the American and Israeli militaries. 209 Republicans voted yes. Really, sit and think about what that means for American sovereignty. Here's who the Republican Party actually serves. Silicon Valley tech giants, Wall Street, big oil, and the military-industrial complex. The MAGA voters, those people that wore the red hats and showed up to the rallies, they get zero policies designed to make their lives any better. And they are kept in line through culture war bullshit politics that have no actual effect on their day-to-day lives. And the Republican states that they run to are the poorest, the sickest, and most uneducated places in the country. And those voters keep returning these people to power because Fox News has convinced them that the real enemy is immigrants and gay people, not the billionaires literally picking their pockets right in front of them. So in the year of 2026, if you still identify as a Republican, you fall into one of three categories. You are either driven by spite. You don't actually expect the government to make your life any better. You don't really care. You just want to see more people suffer, people that aren't like you. You're just a miserable little piece of shit. Number two, you genuinely believe in Trump and his plan, and no amount of evidence will ever change that. You are a cultist. Plain and simple. Or three, and not saying it with malice, but you just aren't paying attention. This is not a both sides situation. One party is cutting your health care, killing people in the streets, killing people in detention centers, starting wars, protecting the rich, destroying federal agencies designed to make your life better, and laying the groundwork to steal elections. The other party is there trying to give your kids free school lunch, and at the same time arguing about the best way to lose to the Republicans. If I had to tell you who to vote for, if you've been paying attention to my channel, you already know. I stand with the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, the only America First party that we have. That is it. So I encourage people to go out and educate themselves. No, this isn't communism. No, this isn't me saying that I think the government should just own everything. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying with the amount of money that we have poured into this unnecessary, unwanted conflict in the Middle East, this war of aggression that we are waging in the name of Israel, we could have already had free school lunches, paid parental leave, universal health care, you name it. There are so many things we could have done, and they are the only ones truly standing up and saying the quiet part out loud. So yeah, if you made it this far, please drop a like on the video, leave a comment, share it, whatever. It helps. And also, if you're one of my subscribers and you've been watching my stuff, tell me, because I cover several different types of topics. I talk about different things on this channel, sometimes religious critiques I'm criticizing religion, or I'm talking about politics, or I'm talking about something totally obscure and different. Just what do you like the most from this channel? Like, do you like this coverage? Because I can keep providing, but you just got to let me know. Because, I'm not really a defined one thing channel yet. So whatever. Or maybe I could just keep going with anything and everything that crosses my mind. So it's not that serious. Yeah, thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.